In one corner, Blu-ray, in the other, HD DVD. It sounds like a direct-to-DVD creature feature, but the big money fight for your entertainment dollars may be over. And we want to talk about the winner with Chris Hogg, who's the editor-in-chief of DigitalJournal.com. One of our regular guests. Good to see you again, and Happy New Year.
Great to be back, Heather. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's talk about this. For anyone who doesn't understand this latest technology, first of all, what is Blu-ray and what is the HD DVD format? What are the differences?
It's kind of, to be honest, a ridiculous mess.
Oh.
It's exactly like the beta and VHS war of yesteryear. On one side, we have Blu-ray discs. On the other side, it's HD DVD. Both of them are high-definition DVDs, so we're replacing the current standard with a high-def standard. You've got a lot of big backing behind the Blu-ray team from tech companies like Sony and Apple. And on the other side, you have HD DVD, which is backed by Toshiba and Microsoft. Essentially, it's two competing formats. Blu-ray has a little bit bigger disc space, HD DVD is a bit smaller but cheaper. So it's a toss-up as to which one's better depending on who you ask.
All right, it's interesting because you were our guest on this when they brought out the two systems and we were talking about who would prevail in all of this. We got perhaps a bit of an indication. Yesterday, Warner Brothers announcing that that studio will release only its own home releases only on the Blu-ray DVD format. Why did it decide that?
They say that they're responding to consumer demand, which I think is actually questionable. There is a lot of argument right now as to who actually has the power. They have, up until now, Warner Brothers is the biggest studio in Hollywood. They've produced both HD DVD and Blu-ray. Beginning in May, they're axing HD DVD. Really, the market needs to decide what's going to happen here. We need to go in one direction or the other. This format war is completely ludicrous to put consumers through this. No one wants to buy a player that ends up becoming redundant.
No.
And Warner says they're responding to consumer demand based on what players are selling and what people want.
So is this the end of HD DVD then?
A lot of people have called it the end of HD DVD. I do think that we need to remember there are still a few very major studios backing HD DVD. You have Universal and Paramount, who have a lot of clout in the industry, a lot of power. But it does signal that the industry could be going the Blu-ray direction. A lot of people for a long time, including Digital Journal 3 years ago, predicted that Blu-ray would win just because it already has so much support.
Right.
Warner Brothers going exclusively Blu-ray means that you and I, a year from now, could see an entirely different market.
When Warner Brothers says it's answering consumer demand, what about video gamers, Xbox, PlayStation 3? They have DVD consoles as well. Do they figure into this equation at all?
Absolutely. This has been one of the deciding factors of this format war, something that we've never experienced in the past. On the one hand, you have Sony PlayStation 3 consoles, which are Blu-ray. On the other hand, you have Xbox 360, which is HD DVD. And a lot of analysts and industry pundits have said that it's the Sony PlayStation 3 that's helping to drive Blu-ray sales. It has a Blu-ray player built in. And in many cases, in the early days, a year ago, it was cheaper to buy a PlayStation 3 console than it was to actually go out and buy a Blu-ray DVD player. So a lot of people who otherwise would never be into video gaming would go out and buy a Blu-ray console in a PS3, and that's helping to drive sales.
Another boost for Blu-ray. How is this all going to affect the price that we pay for those of us who don't yet have a system yet?
Honestly, when we eventually get a standard, it will only do good things because everyone will be making the same types of players. Right now, the Christmas season, the holiday shopping season really drove down prices, especially in the US. Something that was selling for $1,000 a year ago was as low as $100 for HD DVD or $300 for Blu-ray in the States. We need a standard. We need something unified because right now it's crazy price war. It's really not good for the tech industry, and consumers end up losing out by there not being a standard. So it's absolute necessary that we go one way or the other.
Great start to our year together, Chris. Look forward to the next visit. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Chris Hogg here in Toronto. As we